Hi, my beautiful friends. Happy Sunday, or happy whatever day you're watching this. Today is a special day. It's my 90th episode video. Not my 90th video, but my 90th episode video since I came back to this platform on January 5th. And it's special. I hope I can get through it. But anyway, as Wendy Williams says, grab a snack and come on back. Hey friends, happy day. It's Sunday in my world, March 9th, 2025. I hope that you are well. I hope you had good sleep last night. I hope you remembered to spring forward and you weren't an hour late for everything this morning. So I did remember, but everything in my house automatically changes, except for like the little clock I have behind me right here. So, but anyway, today is a special day. It's episode 90 in my series of videos since I've come back. And I was watching the CBS show Sunday morning. I watch it every Sunday morning. It was my mother's favorite. And I watch it every Sunday morning. It comes on at 9 a.m. Eastern time, and it's on from 9 to 10:30 a.m. And one of the segments was with Lindsey Vonn. And it was a segment just about her and how she had surgery and she's going to be skiing in the next Winter Olympics and everything, and at her age, you know, coming back and whatnot. And she was talking about her mother, and her mother, you know, like championed her in everything she did. Her whole family did. They moved their whole family so that she could ski and become a skier, an Olympic skier. But her mother was sickly, and then her mother ended up with Lou Gehrig's disease, ALS. And, you know, they thought that they would have years, and I think they only had maybe months or so, or maybe a year. I can't remember now what she was saying with her mother after the diagnosis of that. And she was saying that how, I knew this would be hard for me to get through this video, and I did bust out crying when I watched it, that she still leaves her mother messages on her phone. She calls and leaves messages, or she texts her mother's phone. And I wish that I could do that. You know, my mother wasn't very techno savvy, and she always wanted an iPhone, and we didn't get her one, of course, because she couldn't. I just threw out a book that I had bought back then that said iPhone for Dummies, so that she can read it and learn about the iPhone, which is obsolete now because I don't know what number iPhone was out when I bought that book, and it's so advanced now. So I got rid of the book because none of that would apply to anything today. And I never did get to give it to her. We never did get her the iPhone, but she did have a smartphone through the Obama phones, and that she could do, but she never knew how to work it. And I used to always get so frustrated. I'm like, Mommy, why can't you work this? But it was hard to work. That phone was not an easy phone to work. And it was like a smartphone screen, you know, phone like my iPhone, but it just was awful. You know what I mean? It was hard for her. It was so frustrating for her to try to call me, you know, but she would leave me messages. And I never knew what the context was. You know, I'm like, God, I wonder what I was doing that she left me this message or that message, because I was out of the house. Most likely I was taking Zoe or picking up Zoe from work, you know, or we were going shopping or something like that. And she always stayed home when we did that. She didn't want to leave the house anymore. And a lot of these messages, I think, are from 2018 and 2019. So yeah. And so up until December of 2019, she left messages. So today's video is titled Messages from Mommy. And, you know, I wish that she could use a phone so that I would have something to call her on, you know, or text her. Now, you know, it would make me feel like I'm closer to her. So I hope that I can, you know, get through these messages. But I decided that I wanted to film this because, like I mentioned in another video, I need to get these on a recorder or something because I don't want to lose them. And I figured maybe if I put it here and I tape it and I film it, it'll live on forever here, you know? So I'm filming it on my old iPhone 11 so that I can have my phone to listen, to play the messages. So I have some meditation vibrational music on, but I'm going to pause that. And I just want to play these messages, you know, and hear my mommy's voice, of course. And we're going to start with the furthest one and go up. And here's my other phone, and you see, here go the messages. And so let's start with this one. Let's see what it is.
Call me when you can. Love you.
I gotta play that again because it didn't really play. Okay.
Hi, babe. I know you might not be able to answer. I was just calling to see how you were making out. Call me when you can. Love you.
I guess I was running errands or something. That was June 6th of 2018. The next one is September 19th of 2018.
Hi, babe. I was just wondering where you were. I didn't know you had to go out so early this morning, or at least I forgot anyway. Okay, call me when you can. Have a good day.
I guess I was going to drop Zoe, or I had a doctor's appointment or something probably, and she was probably sleeping when I left. A lot of times she was sleeping, because I know she had restless nights and stuff sometimes. Her body wasn't working well for her anymore, and I had no idea, you know? And so I probably didn't wake her up before I left. And this next one was November 5th of 2018.
Hi, babe. If you think about it, bring me some of those little chocolate candies, the one with the chocolate inside. Okay? Thank you.
Those were the Lindt truffles. She loved those. Those are her favorite little chocolates. Okay, and the next one is from November 7th of 2018.
Hi, babe. See if you can get a paper while you're out there. Thank you. Hi, babe. Just want to know if you think you can get a paper while you're out there. Thank you.
And that was her newspaper. We used to have the newspaper delivered, and then we ended up having problems. Either they weren't delivering them or they were not throwing them up, because we're on the second floor, and somebody would take our paper. I would find a paper downstairs every time I would go, and I would pick it up because I'm like, that has to be my paper. And, you know, so I hated when that would happen. So we stopped getting a paper delivery because it was expensive. And so whenever we would go out, she would have me bring her a newspaper. My mother read the newspaper from cover to cover, from the front to the back. This one is January 22nd, 2019.
Hi, babe. I'm just wondering what's happening. Are you okay? Call. Let me know what you're doing.
She always called to see if I was okay when I left the house, because a lot of times it would take us a while. Like I would go pick up Zoe. If Zoe didn't get out of work on time, sometimes I'd be gone for at least an hour. And then, you know, if we had to stop at the store afterwards. And so, yeah. So she always called. Okay, we have a few more. This next one is from June 2nd, 2019.
Hi, baby. Just calling to see where you were and how are you feeling this morning. Okay, I guess you'll get back to me. Talk to you later. Bye.
I just love hearing her voice so much. So much. You know, it took me maybe 2 years or so before I could listen to these messages. It really did. Oh my God. Okay, this one is from July 16th of 2019.
Hi, babe. Just calling to see how everything's going. You don't have to call me right back. I know you must be tired, so I'll talk to you later. Okay, sweetheart?
And that was at 3:21 p.m. And I guess I had gone maybe to, I'm thinking, pick up Zoe or something. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. And this one too. This was at 9:23 in the morning on July 17th, 2019.
Hi, babe. I just wanted you to know, please take your time coming up the steps, okay? All right, sweetheart. I'll see you when you get it.
And I'm thinking that's because that is when, you know, I was in a lot of pain and stuff. So I'm thinking that's why she said that. I'm not sure. And this is the last one. The last one. This was December 20th, 2019. The last voice message.
Hi, babe. I just called to see how you're making out. Call me later.
I just love it so much. You know, I wish that I had more. You know, I never thought to really save them. You know how we are. We delete everything off our phones because it's taking up room and blah, blah, blah. And I wish that I would have every single interaction between the two of us. And, yeah, you know, I wish I would have had every interaction between the two of us. Of course, I forgot to put this phone on Do Not Disturb. So there's all kinds of beeping and ringing and all kinds of stuff. But, oh boy, you know, like, wow. Yeah. So that was my mommy's voice, my beautiful jewel, my beautiful, beautiful jewel. And when Lindsey Vonn said that, you know, she still leaves messages for her mom. It just, you know, it just made me think about, wow, I have these messages from my mom and I need to, you know, kind of savor them somehow and make them stay so I don't lose them. You know, that was the scary thing when we got the new phones. I was so scared that, you know, I would have lost these messages and transferring over, and that would have just gutted me. You know, it would have just gutted me, especially the ones where she says, I love you. You know, I just love it so much. You know, I miss her so much. She was my everything. She was my best friend in this whole world. She had my back no matter what. You know, she was my ride or die. She was my ride or die. She was my queen. My queen. You know? And there's nobody in your life like your mom, you know, especially if you have a good relationship. I know this is triggering to some people because some people didn't have maybe a good relationship or anything. I mean, we had, as mothers and daughters, you know, you have that push and pull, but, you know, she was my everything for my whole life. And we were together for, you know, 27 years. We lived together, you know, as an adult. She was with me before Zoe was born. Zoe had her grandmother for 23 years. And which is amazing because I didn't have my grandmother. Her father did on his side. He had all his grandparents until he was grown, way into his 30s and everything. I did not have my mother. I mean, I did not have my grandparents that long. My maternal grandmother passed when my mother was young, in her 20s. And my paternal grandfather passed when my dad was a young boy. So it was just, I had my grandfather, my granddaddy Pedro, which was my mother's father, Pedro Morales. And I had my grandmother, my dad's mom, Miss Gladys Milner. She was the best. I called her Mama. I loved her so much. She just spoiled me. She was just a love bug. She loved to travel. She loved to take pictures. I know that's where I get it from because I want to take pictures of everything. And she loved traveling. And she would take us. She had so much time with my older siblings than with me. I didn't have much time with her at all because when I was a baby, she would come to stay with us in New York. She lived in New Haven, Connecticut on Dixwell Avenue. And she would come, and then when I was little, I would go and stay with her and everything. And she worked at a diner, I think, or at a Rexall drugstore or something. And I just loved her so much. And she would make this soda. It was like little tablets, fizzy tablets. And she would put it in, and we got to, I could pick which flavor I wanted, and she would put it in and make the bubbles. And then she would make these French fries. And I think they're like kin to the Ore-Ida Crispers. She would make those for me. They were so good. And she would make these cookies. And I used to call them chewing gum cookies. I don't know what kind of cookies. They were probably just sugar cookies or butter cookies. But they would be brown around the edge and light in the middle. And they were so chewy and delicious. And I called them chewing gum cookies. And when I was 5, my mother and my father, they split up and went separate ways. And when I was 6 years old, my mother took me and we moved to the Virgin Islands, and I didn't get to spend time with my grandmother anymore, and I missed that so much. And she was dying from cancer, and I can't remember. I did ask my sister what cancer she had. I can't remember. I do remember going back home, to spend time with my dad, and my stepmother took me and my stepbrother to see her, which I didn't like because I felt like that is not your mother-in-law. And that is not his grandmother. That was my grandmother. That was my mama. And why did you have to be there when I visited her? You know what I mean? I was very resentful about that. And so that's the last memory I have. And I don't know if she was in a hospice or a nursing home or what at that time. This was in the 70s. And I think she passed in the 70s, if I'm not mistaken. And I was still a child. It was before I was a teenager and before I had moved back to the States to live with my sister in Chicago. And, we went to see her, and I just loved her so much, but I don't have her voice or anything, so having this, I know Zoe has mixed emotions because she and my grandmother had kind of like she and my mother, not her and her grandmother, had kind of like a push-pull relationship. But I miss my mom. She was my everything, my absolute everything, and everything that I've learned and how to be a strong woman, I learned it from my mother. My mother didn't finish school, but my mother was so intelligent. She read everything she can get her hands on. She was an avid reader, and she loved reading. She loved the paper. She loved books, and she loved mysteries were her favorites. And detective mysteries and things like that. She loved her Zoley and Isles, and she loved those books. And she loved Frank Sinatra. And, she just was a classy lady. She was a diva. And everybody who knew her just was like, oh, Jewel was everything. And she was. My Jewel was everything. She was a jewel. She was a gem. But I wanted to share that. I thank you for allowing me to be emotional here and to share my mommy with you, my beautiful Jewel. I hope you enjoy this. Yappy and I enjoyed bringing it to you. And I did not introduce myself. If you stayed this far and you're new here, thank you. I hope you subscribe. Every video is not like this that I do, and I have almost 200 videos. I have 170 something videos, or maybe 180 by this time, I'm not sure. So go back and watch. And my name is Alexis, and my friends here, hi friends, my beautiful friends all call me Lexi, and some of them call me Sexi Lexi, and that's sexy with an I. And then there's also Luscious Lexi. And I answer to all of those monikers, and I love them all. And they're all a part of me. And this is Yappy, my personal support Chihuahua here on YouTube. And, we just come every day with different topics with my Lexi Talk, akin to a TED Talk, but it's a Lexi Talk. And a chit-chat. And that's what we do here. So if you stayed this far, you know, leave some angel wings down below, or some white hearts down below. And I'll see you on the next one. Thank you for being here, friend. I love you so much. You mean the world to me. I see you. I love you. And thank you for allowing me to share another little piece of me. Deuces. Love you plenty.